Here we are at the warehouse. We'll take a look at the Mazda that we've been working on. We just got started on this project. As you can see, it's got a Warp 9 motor in it, made by Net Gain. It's going to have 44 cells of lithium, 160 amp hour batteries. There's one battery box. We've got our contactors mounted. That's our location for our shunt. Over here is our controller that we're going to be using, made by Net Gain. There's our DC to DC converter. Here's our charger, which as you can see is an Elcon charger. We've got our reservoir for our coolant for the controller there. We've got inside the car, we've got another battery box here where the gas tank used to be, which is going to hold some more batteries. And back here in the trunk is where the majority of the batteries are going to be, with an Anderson connector there to de-energize the packs so that we can work on them in a safe manner with minimum voltage. This will be a fun car to drive when it's done. It should do 80 miles on a charge. Should be pretty quick. Question is, will it be as quick as the Porsche? Porsche has 48 cells. This one has 44 cells. The Porsche has a Solitron 1 controller, and as you can see, this is a Net Gain controller. So it'll be interesting to see the difference in the two cars. However, the Mazda, I believe, is a little bit lighter. Okay, well, as you can see, we've got some Volkswagens here in the warehouse. This is one that's being prepped for conversion, and we have quite a few to pick from, but one thing at a time. So let us know if we can help you. We'd love to put you in an electric car, save you some money, and help the environment, help our economy. Everybody wins. Okay, take care. Welcome to Voltwagen EPC. Well, it's been 10 months since we put this car on the road, and it's time that we go through it and take a look at the batteries and make sure that they're all working properly, we don't have any weak cells. And the only way we can really do that is if we disassemble them and take them out and put a load under each one of them and just double check, reassemble them, check all the connections, etc. We offer a 3-year 36,000 mile warranty on these cars. This particular model, the base model package, does not run a battery management system. It's an additional cost that is an option, but in order to provide a affordable electric vehicle, this car does not have a battery management system. Included in that 3-year 36,000 mile warranty is we disassemble the batteries, we double check them, make sure that everything is working properly, make sure the connections are good, and so we show the customer how they can take care of things themselves if they want to do a little bit of maintenance, preventive maintenance. If they do want a battery management system, we can install that, and then they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to do anything except plug it in and charge it. So let's take a look. We'll show you how we disassemble everything, and I hope you enjoy the videos that we provide for you. Some of them might be boring, some of them might be interesting, but we'll do the best we can to show you how everything works. Okay. The first step that we have to do is take the seats out so that we can get to the back seat, because the majority of the batteries are behind the back seat, and there's a Anderson connector that needs to be taken apart to de-energize. One of the most important things about working on an electric car is the safety. So the first thing we're going to do is take the seats out so we can get to the Anderson connector and disassemble the battery pack. So as you can see, the seats have been removed, the two front seats and the bottom of the back seat. When we remove the bottom of the back seat, this is the luggage compartment cover, And as you can see how that folds right up there. Basically we remove the bottom of the back seat and then we pull the bottom down. It hinges down. And there you have the majority of the batteries behind the back seat. Notice the Anderson connector that I was talking about. That has to be unplugged to minimize the danger of electrical shock. I can't overemphasize when dealing with an electric vehicle the potential for lethal shock. Anytime you're dealing with over 72 volts DC, it's lethal. So you want to use safety in every opportunity you get. That's why we've got a clear plexiglass cover over all these battery connections to prevent anything from shorting them out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the Anderson connector and start working on the battery pack. Okay, we have disconnected the Anderson connector, as you can see there. And what that does is that cuts the battery pack basically in half. When you have 120 volts, you cut it in half, and you're dealing with 60 volts 50% and 60 volts in the other 50%. So it minimizes the potential for lethal shock, although you still have to be extremely careful. So the next step is to disconnect the bus bars that I used to connect the batteries together. And you can see the bus bar is basically a piece of copper from a electrical service device, and I insulate it prior to installing it. And so if we disconnect those 3 bus bars right there, we minimize our potential for shock even more. So the more you minimize the potential for shock, the safer you are. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect those now. Okay, we have disconnected the pieces of bus. There's one of them there. There's another one. And there's the third one. And then we've also disconnected the jumpers that go to the front pack and the jumpers that go to the rear pack, which is basically 3 batteries in the front and 2 batteries in the rear. So now all of these batteries are completely disconnected in here and can now be tested to see if there's any kind of weak cells or any problems that we could find. Basically, these batteries have a 5-year warranty, and I expect them to perform flawlessly, or they will be returned to their manufacturer. They're a Lifeline 105 amp hour battery, and I've heard nothing but good things about them. So the next step is to gain access and disconnect the 3 batteries in the front compartment, and you can do that pretty easily. It doesn't take very long, and I'll show you. So as you can see, we have removed the stuff out of our way here to get to the batteries, and basically it's a piece of plexiglass that covers up the batteries here for safety to prevent anything from shorting the batteries out. That removes. And in the front of the battery compartment there's a piece of diamond plated aluminum which has to be removed, and as you can see we insulate the back side of that to prevent anything from shorting out. Plus it's actually a foam to give the battery something soft to ride against, so that there's no possibility for damaging the actual case of the battery. Over here we have our charger. Sorry about the glare. This is a quick charger. which is your basic charger for this type of car. Again, the objective is to make it as affordable and as simple as possible so that you can drive, and this will pay off. The payoff for a car like this is 3 to 3.5 years. You're driving for basically free. Okay, let's continue disassembling the batteries here. Okay, we've got the connections accessible now, and we're going to disconnect our copper bus that interconnects the batteries first, again to eliminate any possibility for electrical shock. As you can see, there's only 3 batteries up here, so that's a total of 36 volts, and even though that's not lethal, that can still cause a shock, and we want to prevent any shocks at all. Okay, we're going to disconnect the batteries now. Okay, as you can see, the batteries have been completely disconnected. There's the bus bars completely separated, so now we have individual 12-volt batteries we can test. We can either take them out here and put them on the bench, or we can test them right here in the battery compartment. But they are completely safe to work on now. And one thing that I do like about these Lifeline batteries is I like the way that they have their connections set up with these posts threaded. They're brass. They provide you with brass nuts, or bolts I should say, and with the copper bus bars, I think it makes for a really good connection. I haven't seen any sign of any kind of corrosion. Copper's nice and clean everywhere I look. The brass is nice and clean everywhere I look, so that's a really good sign. Okay, the back 2 batteries have been completely disconnected. As you can see, terminal post cables are completely disconnected, so these can be tested. Either remove them and put them on the bench, or we can test them right here in place. We don't even have to take them out of the car. Everything's completely safe to work on now. There's no danger, and so this whole process took less than 1 hour to disconnect all the batteries and get them ready to be tested. So as you can see, the way we've designed this car is simplicity, just like the original Volkswagen, affordability, just like the original Volkswagen, and maintenance free, which is not like the original Volkswagen. It did require quite a bit of maintenance. This particular design requires no maintenance, just annual preventive maintenance to make sure that the batteries, and if you want to put a battery management system on it, then the BMS will take care of the batteries for you, so you don't even have to worry about it at all. But that does require an additional expense. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do some testing on the batteries now, and make sure that we don't have any weak cells.